Good morning, GCBCR. My name is Yuqing, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm a recent college grad. I'm really glad to be back in Richmond and worshiping with all of you again. So the passage that I wanted to share with you today comes from James 1:19-25, which says, "Know this, my beloved brothers, let each person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. For the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God. Therefore put away all filthiness and rampant wickedness, and receive with meekness the implanted word, which is able to save your souls. But be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. For if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man who looks intently at his natural face in the mirror. For he looks at himself and goes away and at once forgets what he was like. But the one who looks into the perfect law, the law of liberty, and perseveres, being no hearer who forgets, but a doer who acts, he will be blessed in his doing." So in the first part of this passage, James speaks of the importance of humbly receiving the word of God, which can save our souls. But then he goes on to say that don't merely hear the word and stop there, but go on to live out the life according to the word of God, because those who don't act will immediately or eventually forget about the word, which then essentially becomes useless to them. So I wanted to share this passage to encourage and to challenge all of you. Be doers of the word and not hearers only. Perhaps for some who have been Christians for a while in America today, Christianity has become synonymous with going to church, participating in Bible studies, serving here and there, and even doing sharings like this, like what I'm doing right now. Certainly for me, I find myself sometimes falling into this trap and becoming really complacent with where my faith is, especially during a time like this. And I can't count how many times I've received convictions at sermons or Bible studies only to forget about them the next day or the next week. So let us not be content with just doing these Christian-y things, which are all good things, by the way, but seek to live out the word of God every moment in our everyday lives. So what does that look like will vary from person to person, and we can pray that God continues to reveal to us how he wants us to live our lives. And I'm not trying to elevate this to the question of how are we saved, because certainly we're saved by faith alone, not by works. But as James points out in verse 22, we are merely deceiving ourselves if we don't follow through what we heard and what we have been convicted with actions. So I hope all of your responses to this passage and my sharing is not just merely nodding and agreeing, but perhaps you can take some time right now or even after service to pray that God gives you the strength to die to your daily worldly desires and to act according to what he's revealed to us to be good and true.